Pop culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on The Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. TGIF, we are finally ready for the freaking weekend. What are you guys going to be doing for your weekend? I currently do. Listen, what do I have planned? I have something planned for tomorrow, but for Sunday, I have nothing planned for the time being. I think I might try to, I don't know, maybe even go watch a movie or something like that. I don't typically like to watch movies in the summer, but it's been a couple months since the last time I got to see a good film. So maybe that's something I'm going to do on Sunday, or maybe I'm going to go dancing on the quay of the Seine River. You know, we'll see. We'll see. But it's so nice to see you all here today. We've got so much planned for today's episode of the Morning Report. Janelle Evans, we did a report about her divorce yesterday, right? So she's officially divorced from David Eason, as we saw her celebrating on her Facebook account. But she's hinting at coming out with a lot more information about what exactly went down in regards to who got what in their separation and much more. She's still crashing out over this man. It's actually quite crazy to witness. We'll get into all that and more. But first, let's see who we've got with us here today for today's episode. By the way, shout out to my girl, Julie. My friend Julie was messaging me that she'd be here to join. So shout out to you, boo. We've got Gala in the house, Caroline. We've got Paprika, Malen, Tadisha, Carly, Jenny, Venetia, Ali, Steph is here, Sheckley is here, Aaron's here, Acacia, Trips back. Hey, Hamlet's Princess, Jessica, Kahara, LTL. Happy early birthday, Carly. We're not going to be able to wish you an official birthday because we don't do the morning report on the weekends, but a happy early birthday to you. And hi, nice to see you as well, Amelia. Shout out to the weekend. I am so freaking excited. And as you guys could see from like the light there, we're finally getting the sun back. So I'm making the most of it, y'all. Ali says, trying to survive these Virgo streets because if I'm about to tell off everybody, you and me both, Ali, I feel like I am on pins and needles. Don't even get me started, but you know what? Woosah, we're going to hang in there together. And it is true. So it's about Virgo season, isn't it? So shout out to all my Virgos. In fact, my friend Julie's a Virgo as well. I love, love, love Virgo season. My sister's a Virgo as well. She's born on the 24th. Good morning, Rachel. Nice to see you. Hi, Leanne. Nice to see you too. And Ruby's here as well. So nice to see y'all. And we've also got Crystal getting ready to bring her dog to get his shots. Yes, I love that. And anytime someone talks about vaccinating their dog or anything, I'm thinking of Bob Barker at the end of The Price is Right. Don't forget, have your pet spayed or neutered. Good on you being a responsible pet owner, Crystal. And nice to see you, Nancy. I'm going to pop some tags. Only got $20 in my pocket. Oh my God. So much to discuss. And by the way, shout out to everybody watching from the bushes as well. We love you too. Why don't we get started with our first story? In fact, the first story I wanted to get into with you guys here on today's episode was about Taylor and Corey. It's kind of like an impromptu situation because we've already kind of discussed this, but there haven't been too many updates. I just wanted to tell y'all that for some reason this morning, I had the itch to like go look at Corey's Instagram page to see how things were going with Taylor. Did they announce anything in regards to the status of their relationship? Does it look like they're trying to work things out? But so far, he's very much giving single father on his Instagram page. I did a lot of scrolling and I saw that the last time that he posted Taylor on his IG was back in March, you guys. So I really do think that things are officially over between the two of them. Something else that kind of like piqued my interest was that Taylor recently went out of town for her brother's wedding and she brought their two daughters with her, but Corey didn't go to his brother-in-law's wedding. It's not looking good. I really, really do think that this is the end. Corey crashed out the last time we were speculating about whether or not these two are still together. So I don't want to say too much, but it's just, you know, it's not looking like these two are together. I think Taylor has finally decided that she's had enough of begging this man for a ring. Acacia says, here we go with these two. I was sorry, girl, to get this out of the way. Good morning, AG. Ali says, please say Taylor has moved on. That man does not like you. I really hope she did. I really, really do. But I still can't believe how much she gave to that man in the first place. It's just so mind-boggling to me that this is what she settled for. I can't get over her last season on Teen Mom Next Chapter begging this man for a ring. Like, girl, he should be begging you for the opportunity to marry you. Like, you were hustling all the way backwards, and I hate that for you. I hate to see a girl down bad. Akeisha says, good for Taylor getting a backbone. Amen. I am so freaking glad that she has finally had enough. And he kind of was like taking the piss with her, right? Taking the piss out of her. I remember there was a scene where they were like going vintage shopping or something like that. And he gets down on one knee to mock the idea of proposing to her. And it's just like, wow, like, girl, like, oh my God, I would have like smashed a vase on his head. Carly says, Taylor, honey, please run for the hills with your kids and love yourself. Amen. 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 Honestly, if it is true that she has finally left him, I'm happy for her. It must have been difficult to see that, on that same season of Teen Mom Next Chapter, there was Mackenzie and Cassandra, who had known each other for a much shorter amount of time than these two had. And then guess what? They're already married, with their own kids now. Meanwhile, Taylor was still there begging for a ring. Like that, at a certain point, you kind of just get fed up. You hit a wall to the point where you wouldn't even care if the man did finally propose, right? Because you had to do all these backflips and begging and stuff. And again, she brought so much to the table in that relationship. Like, she helped him with his daughter, right, that he had before her. Then she brought 2 new children for him, like so many things. She's the one holding things down at home so that he could be able to go out and work for the challenge and do all those amazing things. And he still did not want to marry her. Like, to me, that's crazy. That is so freaking disrespectful, right? Crystal says they are still together. It was a snap he did a few days ago and she was on the couch. They're still living together in the same house, but I don't know if they're together as a couple, because it's not looking good. Again, she recently went out to celebrate her brother's wedding and she didn't bring Corey. She only brought the kids. Tadisha says, I'm so glad Taylor moved on. She should have moved on after Mila was born. If one partner wants marriage and the other doesn't, it's a red flag. And that's the thing. They should have really seriously discussed this before. You have to take people at face value. If you want to get married and you ask somebody if they want to and they say no, they don't believe in marriage, like, don't try to negotiate. Just say, okay, well, thank you so much for being honest with me, and you move on, right? Or if you don't want to get married and the person you're talking to insists on getting married, you move on, right? Like, you have to really account for these things before you get yourself in too deep. I don't understand why she went on to have 2 kids by this man when they were just so freaking incompatible. And, she knew it from the very beginning. I don't get it, honestly. Listen, you have one life. Like, why waste years of your life on somebody who is incompatible with you? It's mind-boggling to me. It truly is. Right, Kate? Like, he's so freaking disrespectful. He finds it funny, but it's not. Good morning, Melinda. Good morning, Misha. So nice to see y'all. And I see more people watching from the bushes. Good morning to my bush squad. But Paprika says, marriage won't save you from being disrespected. She needs to learn her own value before she marries anyone. Love yourself first. And I can agree with that as well. You have to love yourself and honor your own boundaries. Do not let people play in your face. Do not settle for less than what you want. What you want is out there. It exists and you can get it, but you just have to wait and be patient instead of wasting your time with people who are not going to be able to offer that to you. By the way, we've got a new channel member. It's Kalaya Hill. Nice to see you, Kalaya. Thanks so much for joining. I posted 2 new videos yesterday and 1 before that. So you got a lot of great content to look forward to. By the way, you guys, if you're enjoying today's episode of The Morning Report, please don't hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs up so YouTube knows that you enjoy my content. So I wanted to get into the Khloe Kardashian of it all next. Khloe Kardashian, as you are aware, used to be in a relationship with none other than Trash Can Thompson, who cheated on her repeatedly throughout this entire relationship, even while she was pregnant with their daughter, and even while their surrogate was pregnant with their son. And she finally had enough of this, humiliation ritual and kicked him to the curb. But there's something very special that she's done, which is that she has accepted to care for his brother in her household while Trash Can travels around the United States playing basketball. And so this is something that she opened up about in her Khloe in Wonderland podcast just the other day. And so she spoke about Trash Can's 18-year-old brother Amari and how he's got Lennox-Gastaut syndrome, which is a form of epilepsy that leaves him having a lot of seizures from day to day. He's not able to walk, he's not able to talk, etc. Right? And so he stays with Khloe in her house with her children, her family, and everything. And he has a team of 2 full-time caretakers who take care of him in the house. And so she explains that that's something that she does because Trash Can is constantly traveling and he's not able to, and it just wouldn't be fair to put his brother on a plane to follow Trash Can around the world when his health is in such a precarious place, which I found to be very, very special. I really love that that's something that she does for Trash Can's brother, not Trash Can himself, right? I think it's something she does for Amari. And she says that she loves having Amari as part of her family. And again, she shout outs and she thanks and credits the caretakers that she has hired, or that, hopefully Trash Can's the one paying for this, by the way, but that, that they've hired to care for him. And she says that he's surrounded by the best team. And she also says that it's important for her kids, her nieces and nephews as well, to be exposed to all different types of people in the world. Quote, I think it teaches everyone compassion, understanding. It opens up their minds to seeing, wow, Amari is disabled, sure, but he's also just like us at the same time. And so she says that although he can't talk, he is very expressive. So she always knows when he's excited, when he's happy, all sorts of things like that. And he really loves spending time around the other kids, for example. So I wanted to see what y'all have to say about that story in particular. It's very heartwarming. And I like that she's honest about the fact that she's not the one handling his day-to-day care. They have people hired to do this, but she is still kind enough to allow him to stay in her house after, the way that his brother did her dirty. Carly says, cannot stand these girls, but that's a very sweet thing of her to do that she doesn't have to do. And I completely agree. Honestly, like Khloe, I feel bad for her about what happens for her in regards to like her relationships and whatnot. But one thing that cannot be taken away from her is that she has a really good heart. I would say she has a heart of gold. And I just hope that all the good karma that she's accumulated from all the things that she does, like positively for other people and in her relationships, leads her to something that is stable and healthy one day. Thanks, Acacia. Steph says, on top of that, marriage is the hardest thing you'll ever do outside of being a parent, period. Right. And again, Taylor, I think she's going to be fine. And I hope that she holds out for what it is that she's looking for and that she doesn't allow another guy to come along and waste her time. Trip says, I don't know, maybe I'm the only one, but I was married once and it was enough. Not sure I ever want to do that again. And I completely understand that a lot of people who go through divorce or separation feel the same way. Hey, Jamie, nice to see you. Good morning. Are you from New Orleans? These colors are giving you NOLA. It's NOLA, darling. Minnie says, are we sure she's not with Trash Can still? No, she's not with Trash Can. She says she's been celibate for over a year at this point. And I got to say, I do believe her. She knows that it would be far too embarrassing to ever, ever, ever be caught dead with this man again. And I can't picture even Khloe Kardashian going back for more when it comes to this guy and how toxic he is. Like the stuff that he's done to her, to me, is truly, truly, truly unforgivable, right? And so some people were asking how Amari wound up in Khloe's care when he is Trash Can's brother. Where are his parents? Well, his mother, who is Trash Can's mother as well, passed away last year. And so that's why, and I feel so rude continuously calling him Trash Can, but it's a reflex. What do you want from me? But so after his mother died, Trash Can was supposed to, be the guardian of his brother. But because of his career, he's not able to be there 100%. And so Khloe has decided to step up for him. Caroline says she's still with him. Do you guys really think so, that Khloe's still with him? I think she just wants to do. Here's my thing. We all know already that Khloe has a humiliation kink, right? But I think she also has like this hero complex. So she likes the way that this, to me anyway, I think she likes feeling heroic for this, similar to how she is about her niece, Dream. Dream Kardashian is Rob Kardashian's daughter with Black China, right? So Dream has 2 parents who are active in her life. However, Khloe likes to act like she's the one single-handedly raising this child because it makes her look a certain kind of way. And so I do think that that is something that Khloe gets out of having Trash Can's brother at her house. I'm just saying. Rachel says, Khloe's my favorite Kardashian. She seems like a really, really nice person, right? Truly. I will say, though, that she was kind of like vulgar to me on the Kardashians. I didn't really like her sense of humor. It's a bit too much, especially in that episode. Do you remember that episode where the cheetah girl had her parents meet the Kardashian family? It's Adrian. I wasn't being shady. I forgot her name. And listen, we're live. We can't have dead airspace. So Adrian's parents met the Kardashians, right? And then Khloe was purposely trying to make her parents really uncomfortable. And so she was saying a lot of really vulgar, disgusting things, just embarrassing everybody. So I hope she's grown a lot since then, but I just remember being kind of like shocked by her sense of humor and whatnot, and the way that she would speak to her mom, Chris, as well. And I agree, Tadisha, super duper nice. And I don't know about the father either. I don't know if the father has passed away, if the father, yeah, I have no clue. As Bonjour says, I think this was a way for her to stay close to Trash Can, and that could be it as well, right? Like, I do think that there's some kind of ulterior thing going on here. Steph says, even if she cares for Amari, this is a form of emotional abuse because Trash Can knows she won't leave him on his own with his little brother. And that's the thing, you know, to have like that kind of like anchor to Khloe where you're able to constantly talk to her. And by the way, Trash Can's a weirdo because he put over the weekend, he was posting these photos of the kids, right? So his kids with Khloe are True and Tatum. And then he's got prints from his ex-fiance Jordan, right? So he's like, all my kids. And then guess who else is in the picture? He's obsessed with Dream Kardashian. So Dream Kardashian, he acts like that is his daughter. And he'll say as much, oh, this is my daughter, Dream. Meanwhile, he has a whole son that he still has yet to meet, right? Named Theo Thompson. And it's just absolutely freaking insane. Star says, don't start wearing black on us, Grace. Summer's still here. Listen, it's navy blue. It's navy blue. But you're right. I have to go back to my brighter colors. Listen. Summer this year in Paris has not been it. Like right now we're at 23 degrees, which is okay. But for the past week, I've been wearing like a little trench coat to go out because it's been cold. And I even had to wear a little cardigan earlier today. So I'm like, what is this? Is this fall? Like, what is happening? I don't know how to dress anymore for this weather. And I was having a good run last week when it was warmer, right? Good morning, Ramster. How you doing, boo? How's the greenhouse going? Malen says, love that, very selfless of Khloe. What about Thompson's other kid? Exactly. He still has yet to meet his son, Theo. And he's over here. Great that you're claiming your actual 3 children, but why are you claiming Dream? What is with Trash Can and Khloe and claiming Dream? It's very weird. It almost reminds me of that rapper, The Game, where he like found this random child at a park or something and brought her home and claimed her as his daughter. Very weird stuff going on. Hello, Miss Fluffy. Hey, boo. Good morning. My brother has been visiting me here in Washington, so I've been having to watch your videos after they're posted. Happy to be back live again. Nice to have you back live, Miss Fluffy. How was your brother? Did he enjoy the trip to Washington? How would you rate yourself as a tour guide? I loved Washington, D.C. I only got to do a day trip there, and I really loved it, actually. It's a really, really cool place. And happy belated birthday, Laura. Hope you had a great time celebrating. Now, you guys, why don't we get into the Janelle Evans of it all? Her crash out was insane. You would think that the girl would be happy that she got her freaking divorce from David Eason, yet she spent her day on TikTok yesterday just posting videos about this man. She posted like 3 different videos about him, and obviously I'm not going to post all 3. But I have one that I found like, you know, okay, maybe we can post this one. But like she was posting about him repeatedly on the TikTok. Then she went on Twitter and was like beefing with his new victim. And it's all so weird. Like, weren't you complaining that this man stole your spark and everything? And like, he was terrible. He destroyed you, blah, blah. Like, why are you fighting with the new girl who has him as her problem? Kenley might think it's all fun and games now, but trust and believe, or she wants you to believe it's all fun and games. But just know behind the scenes, she's suffering the same way that Janelle was suffering, the same way that David's other baby mama was suffering, the same way that his ex-wife was suffering. Nobody who gets into a relationship with David Eason is happy. Nobody who gets into a relationship with David Eason is living a good life. And Janelle knows this firsthand, which is why it's so strange to me that she was just going crazy on social media yesterday, back and forth with this girl who was stupid enough to date that man. So take a look at one of the videos she posted on her TikTok account. And then when we come back, we'll get into some of the stuff that Janelle had to say in the comment section, then on Twitter and whatnot, okay?
That girl didn't want to die. She just wanted out of that house.
That is one of 3 videos. She posted these back to back to back yesterday. She really wanted to let us know that that divorce was on her mind. So now when we get into what she was saying in the comment section of that particular video, here's some intel that she let us in on, right? So somebody asked, will there be a mini documentary about what happened before and after you left David, or is that going to be kept private? That's a genuine question, by the way. To which Janelle responded, yes, I will be sharing my side of the story. I just need court dates to be over with and papers to be officially signed before I'm comfortable enough to speak. And so, you know, this is not going to be a regular television documentary, right? I do believe that Janelle is going to be posting this to her YouTube channel. She's trying to revive it. She's also trying to launch a podcast with her friend Tori. So maybe this is something that she might use as an opening episode for her podcast or something like that. But I am happy to hear that she will be discussing it nonetheless. And so that's the Twitter stuff. We're going to get into that later, but here's some more from the TikTok comment section. Someone said, I'm confused because people already reported that David got a lot more than he should have. Janelle asked, how are they reporting something that's not filed with the court yet? Someone else said, everything in mediation is mutually agreed upon. You can see eye to eye with him on everything. Janelle responds, he just wanted the toys. So stupid. What else did we get out here? So I think this is the same comment I got. Donc, voila. So essentially, Janelle is promising to talk about what actually went down here in the mediation and in the settlement talks for their divorce. And so these are some more comments that I wanted to get to before I read you guys' comments. Sarah says, the Ashley said he got most of the assets, to which Janelle responds, it's not even filed with the court. That's all hearsay. Stephanie said, you lost so much. Crying emojis. Janelle responds, a bunch of junk. Yeah, he can have it. So essentially, and this is something we talked about in yesterday's episode of the Morning Report, but from the Ashley's Reality Roundup and her sources, we found out that Janelle won the house, and that's something that Janelle confirmed on TikTok. She got her she shed, she got 1 car, and I believe she got 1 motorcycle or 1 motor vehicle. And then David got pretty much everything else. So some pieces of the land, he got his own shed, he got the other motorcycles, he gets the BMW that Janelle's been driving around in Las Vegas. Things like that. So that's what people are kind of referring to in the comment section when they say like she lost pretty damn big. And by the way, Janelle is advising other people to not get married. But here's the thing, you marry smart. You don't go and marry an unemployed man who doesn't even have custody of one of his children, right? Like that's not what you do, right? You marry somebody who also has money coming in, you know, like it just, anyway, listen, we're going to get into what you guys have to say about this in the comment section. Hang on, you guys. It's taking a little bit of time for all of your comments to load. Okay. So Laura says, that's why Janelle does this ish. It's for attention and drama, for relevance, because no one would care. She's not been on Teen Mom for years. And I can agree with that. Trip says she's crashing out. She sure is. That is just the beginning. Just you wait until we get into the stuff that she was saying on Twitter. On Twitter is where she and Canal, which is David's replacement, Janelle, were kind of bickering back and forth. Raven says, Kenlian said David didn't want anything and wouldn't take what Janelle paid for. Now look, he took multiple cars and $30K. Why does she have to pay him $30K? It makes no sense. Exactly, right? So on top of having to part with land she bought, having to part with the boat she bought, having to part with motorcycles, she also has to pay this man $30,000 on top of it. It's insane. I don't know where the hell she got her lawyers from, but they screwed her. Ali says she doesn't understand what assets are. Maybe that's the thing. She's a little bit confused about what everybody's talking about here. Tadisha says, I don't see her podcast being a hit. Remember those Amazon and Netflix deals? And do you remember when she's like, oh, like my new show's coming on this network. And so it launches and the network is somebody's random like website that they just like put online. Anybody could get a domain name, get people to film videos on their phone, and then put it on an internet and claim they have a network. Like that's essentially what went down over there. And it was just absolutely, what a time to be alive that was, right? And exactly, Ramster, get a prenup too. First of all, find somebody who's successful like you. Get a prenup and you're good. You won't have to go through this. Tracy says, good morning, beautiful Grace. I hope you're doing well. Well, thank you, Tracy. Good morning to you too. And I hope you're doing well as well. I am so happy it's Friday. I was shredding like carrots because I bought a lot of carrots, and I'm ready to make a carrot cake after I film the morning report. And I'm so freaking excited about that. Then tomorrow I'm going to be making some peanut butter cookies and making a nice, I think I'm going to make a chicken pot pie for dinner tomorrow. So I'm just thinking about food right now. Carly says, also the first time you get disrespected, leave, Janelle. Don't stick around for more. Exactly. People rarely change. You have to be strict in your dating. Very, very freaking strict, or else you're going to, end up suffering for a long time. Look at Taylor's relationship too. If she were strict with her boundaries, with her limits, everything, she would not have been with Corey for as long as she's been with Corey, right? Wasting her own time. Poor thing. Bree says his replacement, Janelle. Well, is she not? Is she not? By the way, that girl is absolutely insane. Imagine having access to all that information on how abusive a person is and going, you know what? Yeah, let me go rescue him from the boat he's living on and bring him into my house. Insane. So she has the actual house and a bit of land, and then he's got all the surrounding land, a lot of the surrounding land. And then he gets his shed and she gets her shed. It's so weird the way they divided the swamp up. The whole thing is absolutely just mind-boggling. Paprika says, did anyone know that in the early days, unmarried women had more rights than married women? Single women could own property once they married. They became property of their husband. Damn, isn't that crazy? Well, thanks for this tidbit. I had no freaking idea. That's crazy. And this stuff is not even that long ago, right? Steph says, I'm chopping up this oh my God. Watermelon, mint, cucumber, lemon. That sounds absolutely delicious. I just made that recipe in my head, by the way. That sounds so freaking good. Speaking of, how yesterday we were talking about my lemonade with like basil in it? I finished that. It was really good. Can I do a lemonade with rose water? Because I do have rose water. Can I do that? Is that a good idea? Because sometimes it makes my throat itch. Yes, Venetia, it's going to be so freaking good. I'll try to take a picture of my carrot cake when I finish it. I'm so excited. Listen, like I told y'all, Janelle was also crashing out on the Twitter. So why don't we take a look at some of the stuff that she was saying, right? So Janelle basically was happy with the way that things turned out for David in this divorce settlement, right? And Janelle was pissed about that. She's like, oh, this girl's talking like she even saw the order herself. You've got jokes. So do I. Just wait. And then somebody said, well, David probably showed her, right, how things went down. And Janelle says, well, I don't know why she's lying because I have it right in front of me, which is weird. Girl, just go ahead and tell us what exactly is made up then, right? If you know so much, since you got your degree, you know everything. And so there were a couple more tweets that I wanted to share with you guys as well. And so somebody says he seems like a happy person now with Kenley. You can see the way he looks at her, that he respects and loves her. They look like best friends too. You just need to move on and find your happiness. To which Janelle responds, yeah, I seemed very happy too at first until the end. Of course, no one's going to be as raw and real about their relationships as I am to the world publicly. To think they haven't had one argument already makes me laugh. Which is so weird because you just divorced this man. So like, what is this? Like, why are you tweeting about him? Like, why do you care if they've had an argument or not? Just because a couple has had an argument does not mean that they are unhappy. In fact, like it means that they communicate and they're, they've identified a problem and they've decided, to kind of have an argument to get through it or something like that. Like, I don't get it at all. This kind of mentality that she's got, especially as somebody who loves to argue in general. Somebody else said he did with Janelle at first too, until he married her and thought he had her locked in. Then he showed his true colors, to which Janelle responds, yeah, giving gifts is his way of telling her sorry about yesterday. He loves bombs you after he F's up. So she wants us to believe that David effed up, which, listen, by the way, I do believe that, right? Like, I believe this guy is terrible. I believe being in a relationship is terrible and stuff. It's just, I do not understand why this woman who just divorced him and should be happy. She just had a divorce party already, a preemptive divorce party. Like, why she's obsessing about him. on social media. Like that's very, very strange behavior in my opinion. And so Janelle is also in the chat. And listen, these two are very similar. They're two sides of the same coin, right? Two not very smart ladies, obviously, for getting involved with David, but also two ladies who enjoy drama. So somebody named Joy McGee tweeted, he made out well considering. Now he needs to sell some things to pay for the psych eval that he needs in order to see his child. If he doesn't, it will speak volumes, especially for his biggest supporter, you. And so his girlfriend actually agreed that, yeah, David, go take your money, the $30K you're getting from Janelle, or maybe sell some of these items that you got from Janelle and pay for that psych eval so you can finally see your daughter, who you haven't seen in like over a year at this point, right? But which, again, why would you even, as a single child-free woman, be dealing with a man like this? Like, it's crazy to me. It truly is. Like, it boggles the mind. And listen, the Twitter crash out was long because look, I've got more. So Hatter Banter had posted the photo of Janelle with her court documents saying that she needs the tea. And somebody else said, you may need the Ashley's Reality Roundup and Starcasm to break that, because unless Janelle can speak about it without a gag order. And so Janelle says that we'll see. So there you go. Like, both of them are itching to talk about exactly how the assets were being divided in the divorce. I don't know who's going to beat who to the punch. I don't know how they're going to talk about it. I'm assuming that Janelle is going to do this on YouTube and that Janelle is going to do this on TikTok or something like that. But I'm going to keep my eyes peeled and my ears open on this. And then Janelle also tweeted about David getting his rake back. Do you guys remember before the wedding when they were fighting? And David was like, I'm effing raking. That is what she's referring to. So to me, this is confirmation that she is a true Teen Mom fan, which again makes her even more nuts to me. Like, you watch this man on that show, like you truly know how toxic and dangerous he is. Yet you're happily laid up with him, paying the bills for him and making all these jokes. It's all fun and games, but I just know, give it a little bit of time and you're going to be coming to the internet crying, screaming, throwing up, and begging us for our support. You're going to be showing us photos of evidence, all sorts of things. So it's really insane to me. She can't convince me she's happy. She can't convince me that David is a healthy partner. She can't convince me that David hasn't already, like, you know, put the paws on her or her pets. I'm sorry, but like, we've already seen a pattern of behavior with this man. Just saying. Hey, Ashley, good morning, boo. Nice to see you. Ashley says, I made a live again. Hi, guys. I've been playback for a few weeks. My husband has a new work schedule, so I've been sleeping in. I love that I made it. Listen, I love that you get to sleep in. Nice. And do I have a pollen allergy? I don't know if I have a pollen. I'm supposed to get an allergy panel test done at some point, but I'm kind of lazy about scheduling that. But yeah, it makes me so sad because I love the smell of rose and rose water. So I don't know why it just gives me that reaction. Megan says she is such trash. Which one? Both. Alice says Janelle is delusional, and I agree. Carly says I made some lavender lemonade yesterday. See, that's what inspired me about the rose. I'm like, okay, if they could do lavender, can I do rose? After the live, it's been so delicious and refreshing in this heat. Thank you to whoever said something about it. I love that. Yes, girls. Yes. We're in our lemonade era. You know what I'm going to make too? I'm going to make an iced tea. Because yesterday when I went to this like bar restaurant in the 9th, it's called in Pigalle, it's called Carlota. I had this iced tea with pineapple. So good. And I want to try to recreate that. Ramster says watermelon, red onion, feta cheese, basil, and balsamic dressing. Absolutely delicious, refreshing summer salad. Yes. I'm a sucker for feta, especially, is it goat cheese feta? That's my fave. Raven says Janelle shouldn't speak about him unless they speak about her. Just go for the child support, Janelle. Exactly. And here's my thing. Speaking of child support, Raven, great point. How is it that she owes this man $30K on top of all the assets when this man is behind on child support? He has not paid a single dollar towards their daughter. So why would Janelle have to take money out of her account to give to him? Why wouldn't they just calculate this out of the money that he owes her for the care of their daughter? Isn't that, again, who the hell were her lawyers? They were terrible, absolutely terrible lawyers. Tadisha says Janelle should be happy that she's no longer subjected to his ABUSE. And I agree. She seems jealous, which is so odd. Exactly. Like, what is going on? And like, wasn't it her who said that he wasn't even like good in bed or something like that? Like, So what is it that you're after? It's not the money because he has none. It's not the kindness because he doesn't have that either. It can't be the brain power. Like that's nowhere to be found. And then he's not even good in bed. So like, what is it? Is he funny? I've never laughed over, I've laughed at him, but never laughed over like a joke or anything he said, Trip says her, oh yes, that's what I'm trying to find. The lingerie tweet. Where is it? I took it as a screenshot and everything. Hang on. Yes. So what Trip is referring to is this weird tweet that Janelle posted thirsting after David. She was literally like, oh, like, what kind of lingerie should I wear? My ex is coming by type stuff. Like, huh? Isn't that so weird? Hang on. Thanks, Trip. Let me put it up because I did get the screenshot, but listen, I don't know what's up with my computer. I get the screenshots of things and sometimes I just don't put them up. So I have to try again to upload them. So you guys are going to see it. Like I saw this circulating and I was like, no, somebody had to have photoshopped this because shouldn't she be happy to be divorced from this man? Why would she be making these kinds of like declarations in public about freaking David Easton of all people? No, that's not what I'm looking for. Hang on. Here it is. Can't wait for my ex to show up to get some things. Which lingerie should I wear? Weren't you just declaring in the family court that this man was abusive to you and to your children? And you want to keep him away from the children because he's dangerous, which is true, right? I'm not saying this is if I doubt her. I'm just saying that you're saying all this stuff in court, but then you're over here tweeting this. Do you know how bad this looks for you? Like this looks absolutely insane. You need to act sane, Janelle. Don't act insane. Because truly, what is this? This makes absolutely no freaking sense that a woman who's claiming that she was battered by somebody, that her children were victimized by somebody, would be posting that kind of a message. Like it is just mind-boggling. And again, all of that stuff I believe happened. I believe it's true. It's just that's why this is so mind-boggling. Jess says, I bet her and David have hooked up and that's why she told Kenley he needs to tell her the truth. Ooh. Do you think it's like a back of the truck situation a la Corey and Leah? I wouldn't be surprised. Because listen, there's very clearly a certain level of attachment there. So essentially from what the Ashley sources are saying, even though they've seemingly divided everything up 50-50, in my opinion, I feel like David got even more than her, with the exception of the house, of course. They said that the $30K will also further equalize everything in light of their split. And I agree, Ali. Unfortunately, you cannot make this level of just nonsense up. It is. Kate says it was so desperate and weirdo behavior. Why do you care about lingerie for your ex that you were so scared of? Exactly. And I'm so shocked. I'm truly so shocked. I don't get it because we all believe her that he is crazy. We all believe her that he's violent. We all believe everything. So why is she tweeting this? Like she makes herself look bad. She makes us look bad as people who believe her, right? Like Jesus. It was probably at Wawa. Oh my God. Kale Shakes. That's her place. Steph says, nah, they met at Wawa. Listen, I don't know the next time I'm going to go to the US. Probably not for another 4-ish years. But when I go there, I would like to see this Wawa, because when people would say Wawa on the show, I thought they were talking about Walmart, because like Walmart, I know Walmart. We have that in Canada, right? Not here in France, but we have that in Canada. And people always had these like nicknames for it. Like I remember Wally's World, Wally's, these types of things. So I was like, oh, like Wawa, I guess that's how you guys call Walmart. So to find out that it's its own like thing, I think I might have to book a trip just to go to this thing to see like, what is it? Like, what kind of aphrodisiac is it to certain people? Jess says that, or when he gets his belongings. Yep. I think that might be it. So honestly, Kenelle probably should accompany him for that trip to get his belongings. Ramsey said, did Janelle get her lawyer on Groupon? It feels like it. She should have gone back to Dustin. I guess Dustin, maybe he's just a criminal attorney or something like that, but she should have gone with him. If she went with him, David would have left with nothing, not even his like boxers, nothing at all, as he should have. LV says, Most of us do, but a lot of people are saying David is stable now that he's away from her. Do people actually believe that? Because David already had a bad reputation going into this relationship. He already had a long criminal history. He already had lost custody of a child. The guy was already a mess. To me, the problem is David and the problem was Janelle. They're two bad people who had bad lives already before they met each other and decided to create a bad life together and leave separately to continue to live their bad lives on their own. And I agree. Listen, this was a Dirty John situation. It feels like a dirty John situation. Have mercy. Today drained me. I can't believe it. By the way, I'm trying to catch these comments that you guys were telling me about this Wawa thing. You know, maybe I should even look up a picture of what this looks like, because I don't know what this even looks like, this Wawa thing. I heard it's like some kind of like a gas station or whatever. So does it look like a gas station? Let me see. Wawa. Okay. Huh. Okay. So Ali says, Grace, I did the same thing. We don't have Wawa in Chicago. I went to Florida and requested my friends take me to Wawa just to see what it was about. Were you impressed with it? I'm looking at it. I'm not that impressed. I don't know why people like it. It just looks basic. Aaron says, ooh, get a panini or a meatball sub. Their coffee. Okay. You know what I used to love? I used to love Quiznos. Quiznos used to have really good subs, even better than the Subway subs. But like they got rid of this Quiznos near where I lived. So I missed that. You need to come to Pennsylvania where Wawa started. Listen, maybe we'll do that. Like a Wawa pub crawl sort of a thing. Steph says, let me know when you come to the US. I'll take you to Wawa in exchange you have to get me into Canada. Yes, and I'll get you to Tim Hortons. If you come to Canada, you have to go to Tim Hortons. That is obligatory. Okay, so that's our exchange. I'm loving this cultural exchange between us all. And good morning, Caroline. I caught you on the replay in the comment section of my last morning report. It's nice to see you back live, Boo. Hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. Anyway, you guys, listen, I'm going to keep you guys posted on any other information that comes out about this entire mess. But for now, this is about as far as I've gotten. This is about as much information as I've got. But listen, when I know more, you guys will know more as well. Listen, I need to continue looking at these photos of Wawa to figure out why it's so damn good. So give me a second. I'm also going to be drinking my water. We got a word from some of our sponsors. And on the flip side, when we come back, we're going to be talking about Justin Timberlake opening up about his battle with Lyme disease. And then we're going to wrap up today's episode with Justin Baldoni attending Blake Lively's deposition. All that and more in just a quick minute. So if you're enjoying today's episode of The Morning Report, please don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up so YouTube knows you enjoy my content. See you soon. The Morning Report is brought to you by Philo. Watch your favorite shows and movies from over 70 different channels, including MTV, TLC, WeTV, and more for only $28 a month. Get a free trial today by clicking the link in the description box of this video to get your free trial up and running. Tired of learning languages in boring, frustrating ways? Try TalkPal. TalkPal is your personal AI language tutor. It teaches you languages in fun, engaging ways. It gives you real-time feedback, assesses your pronunciation, and the learning process is personalized just for you. Join millions of other learners and start your language learning journey today. So I'm looking at a video on TikTok, just trying to understand more about this thing. And it's just so fascinating to me. Oh my God, guys, you know what? I'm going to come one day and try to visit this Wawa place that y'all are telling me about. And yes, Carly, please, a big gulp cup. Oh my God, it kind of feels like the Bravo Clubhouse sort of a thing. Like, if we had like a Bravo Clubhouse sort of a thing, but with like Teen Mom memorabilia, what would we put in? So of course we'd have to have the Big Gulp cup in honor of Big Gulp Christie. We'd need to have feathers, hair extensions for Jenelle and the Kesha concert. We'd also need to have a green hoodie for Kiefer, a change jar. Like, what else would we put in there? Isn't that crazy? Honestly, that would be a fun little game. That would be a fun freaking game. Maybe we'll do that another time too. But I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys say in the live chat. Or a rake. Yes, we'd have to put a rake for David as well. Maybe. Honestly, there are just too many funny things. Bacon for Leah. What else would we put in our Teen Mom Museum? I'm trying to think. What about Amber? I want to say benzos, but that's a little bit too sad. What would we put for Amber? A couch? A couch for Amber? Ali says whatever car real Kale reproduces in. Yeah, with like a Chevy Tahoe for Kale and like her parking lot, like conceptions and whatnot. Machete. Oh my God. What else would we put in there? The machete for Amber. What else would we put in there? Oh, cornbread for Corey. We'd put cornbread in there as well. I don't want no damn cornbread. Braces for Kate. I remember Kate and her braces. Her braces were so freaking cute. I remember the Mercedes for Amber. Maybe Matt's backpack as well. Maybe a cave for Joe and Kale. Oh my God, that is just too freaking funny. Listen, you guys, I'm looking forward to reading the rest of you guys' entries for our Teen Mom Museum. But as those come in, let's get into the Justin Timberlake story, okay? So singer Justin Timberlake is seemingly explaining why it is that he no longer sings at his own concerts. He's been going viral on TikTok for not singing. He'll come and he'll be like, I would da 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 da. It's like you're my mirror. And like just letting the audience sing for him, and people are getting pissed off because they're not paying a pretty penny to go to a karaoke concert where they have to sing. They want to listen to this man sing, right? And so now he came out on Instagram with a massive announcement to tell the public that he has been diagnosed with Lyme disease. His exact caption reads, and I quote, well, as these 2 incredible years come to an end and I look forward to the future, I wanted to write something from the heart. It's not an easy task to try to contextualize the whirlwind of touring, but I will try. This has been the most fun, emotional, gratifying, physically demanding, and at times grueling experience. I've been doing this for 30 plus years, which feels crazy to say, and have given all that I have to this. I could not have done it without my family, friends, the TN kids, and all of your support. As many of you know, I'm a pretty private person, but as I'm reflecting on the tour and festival tour, I want to tell you a little bit about what's going on with me. Among other things, I've been battling some health issues and was diagnosed with Lyme disease, which I don't say so you feel bad for me, but to shed some light on what I've been up against behind the scenes. If you've experienced this disease or someone who has, then you're aware. Living with this can be relentlessly debilitating, both mentally and physically. When I first got the diagnosis, I was shocked for sure, but at least I could understand why I would be on stage and in a massive amount of nerve, pain, or just feeling crazy fatigue or sickness. I was faced with a personal decision: stop touring or keep going and figure it out. I decided the joy that performing brings me far outweighs the fleeting stress my body was feeling. I'm so glad I kept going. Not only did I prove my mental tenacity to myself, but I now have so many special moments with all of you that I will never forget. I was reluctant to talk about this because I was always raised to keep something like this to yourself. But I'm trying to be more transparent about my struggles so that they aren't misinterpreted. Sharing all of this with the hope that we can all find a way to be more connected. I'd like to do my part to help others experiencing this disease too. So there you go. Justin Timberlake has officially announced that he is battling Lyme disease. Yeah, I think he's releasing this information as an explanation as to why it is that he hasn't been performing so well in his concerts. But, I do believe that he does have it. It seems like this is a big celebrity disease. I think I had read something about like the reason why so many celebrities seem to have Lyme disease is because they like to go to the Hamptons, and the Hamptons apparently is like, it's where like a lot of people get Lyme disease in the first place. So, very, very sad stuff. I cannot imagine just having chronic fatigue, and just trying to do your job, the risk of canceling a tour. Canceling a tour is not easy for an artist. This is what caused Justin Bieber to sink so far into debt. It's because he canceled a tour. Toni Braxton went bankrupt because she canceled a tour when she was diagnosed with lupus. It is very, 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 very expensive, right? So I totally get it. Caroline says, Lyme disease sounds so horrible and painful. It really, really does. Ashley says, this may be Meanie mind. This may be mean. My mind is boggled to how many celebrities get bit by ticks. Yeah, again, I think it's like something to do with like the Hamptons, and how like a lot of celebrities like to flock to the Hamptons, and there are a lot of Lyme disease. People get these tick bites over there. I wish I had more information on it, but I just remember like reading something about that like 2 years ago. So my memory is kind of vague. If any of you guys have more information on the link between the Hamptons, celebrities, and Lyme disease, please do not hesitate to leave it in the live chat or in the comment section if you're part of my playback posse. Ali says Justin Timberlake is just scamming people. Let's call a spade a spade. Damn, if you're not able to perform, you shouldn't perform. And what's up with Hollywood Lyme disease? Ooh, Justin Timberlake, Ali does not believe you. Really? I think it's plausible. Like all the celebrities seem to have it. Carly, Taylor's beard is his BBL because I saw an episode where he got rid of it. Acacia says, I know JT says it's health, but why does he always look wasted though? Ooh, I saw another comment about that. Somebody else said that he needs to put, I think it was Acacia that says that he needs to put the liquor down. Ooh, I don't know. Listen, I don't really like keep up with Justin Timberlake too much. I like some of his songs, but like I don't really follow him like that. So I have no clue. The only thing I really remember from him in recent times was when he cheated or allegedly cheated on his wife in New Orleans with like one of his co-stars. And wasn't it that girl, the girl who plays Creed's wife in like the Apollo Creed movies, Tessa Thompson, and then there was another girl there too. Was it Rita Ora? Like it looked like they were about to have a threesome on the balcony. That's the last time I heard about this guy. Actually, no. Then after that, he had a DUI or something, and he said it was going to ruin the world tour. Good morning, Muka Madness. Happy Friday, boo. How you feeling? Gwen says, on the subject of ticks, there's ish loads in the States this summer. Watch yourself. I've been wearing my hockey socks in my woods out back. Really? Like there's even more coming out there, y'all. Honestly, I think that would be really, really important for a lot of people to look up this Lyme disease stuff, right? And like how to prevent themselves from catching it because it seems very, very prevalent. LV. So I saw some of you guys' comments about like the Teen Mom Museum I wanted to get back to. So Tadisha says Rockaware shirt for Tyler, maybe even like the slanted hat for him. Reefer for Kiefer, says Angie as well. Caroline says Amber's mini glasses. Nikki says a beer for Macy. What is her beer of choice? Her beer of choice, Bud Light for Macy. Listen, that would be just too damn fun. A Teen Mom Museum. Hey, Mary Duda, good morning. So nice to see you. Happy Friday, darling. Hope your day is off to a good start. Now, you guys, we've got another Justin that we need to talk about. We're wrapping up today's episode of the Morning Report with Justin Baldoni. Can I ask you guys, how do you feel about the lawsuit between he and Blake Lively after his got dismissed? So the judge was not feeling his lawsuit. It had no merit, essentially, and so it was dismissed. So now the two of them, they're still duking it out in court. However, it's mainly over Blake's lawsuit, right? So does that change any of you guys' feelings? Because I know a lot of people, when this news came out, people were rooting for Justin against Blake, right? Because Blake already is a not very liked public figure, which I understand, absolutely. But the more information that comes out and the more that his lawyers speak and whatnot, the more I'm kind of like, to me, especially after his lawyers said something like, oh, like, Blake, if you really want to help like women being harassed, you should allow us to live stream your deposition in Madison Square Garden and we'll sell tickets. So I was like, ew, like, what? Like, I'm sorry, it was giving weird incel type stuff, right? We're getting a pig together. Or maybe even leopard print blankets. Look how easily distractible I am. Where was that? Yeah, so I don't know. To be honest with you guys, I don't know. Especially after, like I told you guys, lawyers, they were just being really weird. And now I'm hearing that Justin Baldoni actually appeared at Blake Lively's deposition, which is pretty much unheard of. And, like you, Milan, it creeped me out. It creeped me the hell out because imagine you're there being grilled by attorneys talking about how you feel as though you were actually harassed in the workplace. and the person who you've accused of actually harassing you walks into the room to stare you down as you answer these very like uncomfortable and intimate questions. To me, it felt creepy, and to me, it felt like an intimidation tactic. And I feel really sad that I think this guy might have pulled the wool over our eyes, and that some of us might have accidentally supported somebody who's actually like, a lot different than he seems. Just sorry, it was to me, very inappropriate what he did. So this is coming out of TMZ. Their sources tell them that Justin was in the room during Blake Lively's New York deposition. And again, this is something that's almost unheard of. This just does not happen. Like, I don't know how his legal team allowed him to do this, because it just makes him look insane. It makes him look gross. It makes him just look terrible, absolutely terrible, right? So depositions are typically done privately, right? So that's why I'm saying it's like unheard of that somebody that you're accusing would pop in and stare you down as you're giving this sort of a testimony. So there were attorneys for both sides who were typically just there, a court reporter and a videographer, right? So that's what happened, but with the addition of Justin Baldoni in the room as well. And so what Blake Lively was just testifying to the fact that she feels as though Justin actually harassed her on the set of their It Ends With Us movie. She said that he was talking openly about his ex-life, commenting on her body, that he was improvising intimate scenes without her consent, different things like that, right? So for his part, Justin has been claiming that none of that is true, but yada, yada, yada. He filed his own counter lawsuit against her. That got thrown out as well. And so now here he is kind of just, intimidating her as she is giving her own testimony. And listen, all I could do is grit my teeth, because this story just makes me so like, wow, like that is absolutely bonkers what you've done there. Like he says, it got thrown out on a technicality, and the judge is very untrustworthy, and she's not talk. But, they did give him the opportunity to, but it's not necessarily a technicality. There's a lot of things in his lawsuit that they included that had nothing to do with anything. And it really pissed the judge off, because there was even this time where they were like, Taylor Swift, they put this in like a thing. I have it on good authority from a friend of a friend that Taylor Swift no longer talks to Blake Lively, because Blake Lively, after, like, they were just like going like everywhere and nowhere with this thing. It was the weirdest lawsuit, right? Ali says, honestly, depositions, the parties both sit down at times. This is pretty normal in the US. I have never heard of somebody going and sitting down on a case like this. To me, this is just, wow, absolutely wild to me personally. Malen says, I know Blake can have her issues, but I'm team Blake now. Justin and his lawyer are very thirsty. Like he says, Blake's lies are unraveling. Just wait it out. Ramsher says it ends with us turned into there's no end in sight. Exactly. And I'm sorry to the people who didn't like the movie, but I did. I thought it was a pretty good movie. I know. I was watching it while I was taking down my old braids, and I was like, you know what? This movie isn't half bad. I don't know why people were hating on it. Like he says, I will not ever be team Blake. Y'all have to read all the legal paperwork. And I read it. I used to read it live with you guys and everything. And just, I don't know, y'all. I went from Team Blake when the op-ed came out. I said, wow, that's crazy. Blake all the way. Then Justin filed his lawsuit. I was like, oh, damn, Justin all the way. This is crazy. Then he released the video footage and this and that. I was like, damn, Justin. But as time goes on, I'm like, wait a minute. Something's not looking too good on his side. So I went neutral. But now after this story, I'm like, God, I will never forgive this man for making me team Blake in a situation, because y'all know Blake is a mess. I do not like Blake Lively at all. But right is right and wrong is wrong. Milan says he wants to make her feel uncomfortable. That's what it feels like the goal was. Like, oh my goodness gracious. Like, just even reading about it makes me kind of like squirm, Ali says, well, we won't have people like Blake Lively telling TMZ. We don't have people like, telling TMZ what's going on. And that's another thing that turned me off. to him and his team is that they kept on running to TMZ like consistently. Like his lawyers would pop in and do these live interviews all the time. I was like, shouldn't you be working on this $400 million case? Like, why are you guys so freaking available? And why are you guys hogging up all of the airtime? Like, it's weird. Like, what are you trying to prove by being like in front of this thing 24/7, you know? Mary says, I need Ryan Murphy to do a Justin versus Blake American Crime Story or feud. I'm telling you. Did they put out that documentary on this like whole case yet? Julia, mi Italiana, says they found Diddy not guilty. I don't trust the United States legal system anymore. And that's the thing, right? It's very heavily biased against women. So, you know, even if a man is found not guilty or not liable of committing, you know, something illegal or something wrong against a woman, doesn't necessarily mean that he's innocent, right? Because we do live in a very, very sexist world at the end of the day. Ali says Blake is a subpoenaing content creators. She's moving very oddly. I saw that. And you know what? I wanted to put that in my other morning report, but then we went over time and I was running late for something. But from what I saw, yes, she did subpoena 3 different YouTubers. And then afterwards, because of the backlash or something like that, she wound up withdrawing that motion. So that is something that I'm really curious about, to get some more information as to why she would have done that. I see you, BB says, I'm with Team Baldoni. He did disclose plenty of evidence to contradict what Blake claimed. And that's what I thought too. And like, you know, just for some reason, despite that, the way that they're behaving and whatnot, just to me looks very, I don't know, it's turning me off, and it's actually kind of creeping me out as well. Bree says, I don't understand why we have to be team anyone. Blake is a terrible person. Justin may also be. We can just watch it happen. And that's fair too. That is fair too. You know, maybe that's a position I should take. I'm just watching it. But for now, honestly, this move just makes me really uncomfortable. Ramsey says, still have not seen the movie and not planning to ever watch it. You know what? I don't blame you. After all this drama, Alice's depositions are supposed to put parties on edge and get them to retract or mess up. And I think that that's what they're really trying to play into by like having him actually pop up as well. Mary says, I'm team mess and team I'm judging from the side. Just stirring the pot. James says, it was a great movie, great storyline, and good acting, right? Like, honestly, I don't know why people are hating on it. I know the drama sucks and it overshadowed the film, but overall, it was a pretty damn good film. Really disappointing what's happened. Like he says, maybe because I have a legal background, I could see her claims having no merit. Ooh, I would love to pick your brain some more about why you feel that way. Mac is part of the playback posse. Mac says Wawa's coffee is awesome. Listen, I'm gonna have to do a field trip one day in a couple of years to go to Wawa and see what it's all about. Hey, Nikki, nice to see you, boo. But unfortunately, we're at the end of today's episode of the Morning Report, y'all. Listen, I have to make my carrot cake. I'm really looking forward to it. I have to go find some mascarpone to put as my little frosting and everything, and, you know, get the house cleaned up, spruced up for the weekend. But as usual, I had a great time chatting with you guys. I hope you have a fantastic weekend as well. Thank you so much for all of your Wawa advice. And I'll see you again on a Monday's episode of the Morning Report. I'll be here bright and early at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take good care of yourselves, you guys. Bye. Have a great weekend.